So I'm here with Heroes of Might and Magic 2 review. Perfectly balanced by a guy named SsethTzeentach? That sounds like something from Warhammer, one of the weird corrupt lords. We have Slaanesh, we have Khorne, and then we have Tzeentach. Doing something weird. Tifa is so moody today. Yeah, you're a big shangus. We're gonna watch Seth's video here.
God, so much here.
I will. Let us start this.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be playing the predecessor to one of the best turn-based strategy games of all time. A game where combat is decided by whoever gets to move first.
Wait, there's a spell literally named Armageddon? That sounds kind of unfair. But I actually recognize this. I have played this game in the past. Not much. I played the third game the most. But I recognize this. But I do not recognize Armageddon.
Victory is decided by who gets the most broken spells, and where the best day of a week is Monday.
Yeah, fuck that. That is not right. Best day Monday? No. Not right at all. I feel bad for those fucks, man. They're gonna get their coming to that dragon.
Speaking, of course, about Heroes of Might and Magic 2, but really, it should just be called Heroes of Magic, and sometimes Might if you're very unlucky. I played this first as a child, and now I return to it as a man-child. Released in 1996 by New World Computing, we're going to be looking at this game as the original building blocks for Heroes 3, which got everything right. In contrast, Heroes 2 gets everything wrong, but it's got a lot of soul, it's very pretty, and it's generally a very relaxing experience. First, let's cover the lore.
Rip the bird. Relaxing indeed. Oh god. Yeah, Heroes 3 is actually really good game. I'm not sure how many hours I've spent on that game. Me and my friends and all that. You know, taking turns, playing and all of that. And I guess, you know, all great games, you know, they need to take their baby steps, and I guess the second game is quite good with that. 96 graphics there, guys. This is high-tier graphics.
The story takes place after the dominant monarchy has a little disagreement. Roland Iron Fist is the rightful successor to the throne, but Archibald Iron Fist has had enough of his faggot brother, so he accuses him of soiling the bed and forces him to flee the kingdom in embarrassment. In the campaign, you can choose to either stand with Roland Iron Fist and defend his right to shit the bed, or choose to represent Archibald in his rightful condemnation of his brother's scatological tendencies. Canonically, Roland wins and turns his brother to stone, which is used as a plot point in the RPG games since
There's RPG games of this? I need to check them out.
Archibald is the only person who understands nuclear physics. I'm not joking, I'm completely serious. You need to free him in Might and Magic 6 unless you want the planet to explode in a thermonuclear blast. The Archibald campaign is pretty challenging. The Roland campaign is a billion times worse. There's only one way to win. It's a complex strategy that I like to call restarting the mission until you get lucky and get a spell that lets you no-clip across the map. I think that statement alone should give you a hint of what Heroes 2 is all about. I got the good old games copy, which emulates the game to run on Windows 10. There's some glitches, but these can all be fixed by playing around with the configuration. Generally, everything looks, plays, and sounds great.
Actually, what this makes me think on is an old game called King's Bounty. I think it was to Sega Mega Drive or Sega Saturn. It was a Sega game at least. King's Bounty. It is kind of like the predecessors to this kind of game. Really fun game. Really awkward as well. But you know, most of these games are. Most of them are. And I'm just like baffled by this. Like, dude, back in '96, I was 10 years old then. This was like high tier gaming. Holy shit.
This was the first Might and Magic game where they went all out with their sound design. Everything is beautifully composed, and I should mention, every single town theme is sung by a fucking professional opera singer. Have a listen. The production value.
That's everything. I like that. That's some pompous ass music. I like it. I like it in my kingdom to have some bards playing fucking opera for me every time I'm in the store to buy some potion and some bodyguards to throw at the fucking enemies. Probably, which is a bunch of peasants that gotta fight the big dragon, and they gotta be like, oh no. Because as something I remember, peasant, they sucks. They do.
Values in this game are absolutely top-notch. Just look at how insanely pretty everything is. Every single unit, every single set piece, even the resources you pick up, gemstones,
Gorgeous.
crystal, treasure chests, they're all still crispy clean to this very day. To illustrate my point, here's a basic unit dwelling for the Knight faction. It's a structure responsible for spawning the most useless unit in the game, the peasant.
I told you guys! Seth, great, my things alike.
And it still looks better than any place I've ever lived in. This detached 2-bedroom cottage probably costs more than this.
Okay, I just now imagine two-bedroom cottage with 12 very horny peasants inside there. It explains why it's so much flickering light in there. You guys know what they are doing in there. Farming? No, more like fucking.
Student loans of several millennials combined. They told me medieval peasants had it bad. I'm sorry, how can they have it bad when they've clearly got a front garden and, supposedly, a clean source of drinking water? There's a very saturated, high-contrast color palette in this game, and as a kid, I took all that quality for granted, because the modern Heroes games now look like someone's shitty DeviantArt page. I'm going on tangents now, which is a growing symptom of my impending dementia. So let's get to the gameplay. Heroes 2 is a turn-based strategy game, which means it's for thinking people, and people who are too slow to play StarCraft instead. The principle is very simple. You recruit heroes to lead your armies. These all have different stats and skills respective to their faction. The portraits for heroes are an absolute acid trip. There's almost no way to tell what class they are until you mouse over them. Let's take this guy.
Oh my god. Me in the early mornings. Yeah, pretty much how. That is literally the mood of 2020.
Example. Can you guess what he is?
Barbarian caster.
Yeah, that's right. He's a knight, which means he's a good guy. And on Roland's side. Okay, let's try that again. Can you get?
Why is there a fucking alien in this? Though at least they are very progressive about the entire thing to be, don't judge anyone by their looks. I guess that is a knight as well, just because why not?
That's what this guy does? Yeah, correct. He's a wizard, which means he's also a good guy on Roland's side. You know, I'm really starting to doubt Roland's motives. Half of his team look like they've just come out from serving prison sentences for aggravated rape. But who am I to question royalty? A lot of the sorceresses make for great waifu material, though. Ah, the 90s. Back before women became degenerate and started plastering their faces with septum piercings. Oh wait, oh no. You recruit armies by spending all your savings on dwellings that spit out new units at the start of each week. You also have to pay them up front. Each of the 6 factions has its own respective 6-unit army, which range in tiers from level 1 to level 6. However, your heroes can only hold 5 different stacks, so you'll have to pick and choose or mix and match to suit your strategy. Wizards are all about range. They've got 3 different shooters. Warlocks answer that by having 3 different flyers that can close the gap. Knights have no flyers, neither do the barbarians. Instead, the knights prefer to tank all the damage, while barbarians lack any kind of defense and rely on hitting fast and hitting hard. A sorceress is a mix of everything. A necromancer is a mix of everything undead. They get their ultimate unit quicker and cheaper than anyone else. And power liches are the only unit in the game which can accidentally wipe out half of your own army. You've got a limited set of moves and actions you can take every turn. Once you're done with your turn, the computer moves around and pretends to be intelligent. Rinse and repeat. Research new.
To be fair, that is pretty much how I play the game. I pretend to be intelligent. I know I'm not, and I know I fuck everything up. And I like the character there in the next last icon there. Pretty funky. Wait, do they have a skeleton with a boner there? Dude, they have a boner skeleton. My god. That is some cool stuff there. Look at it. He's just standing there. Boneroni.
New spells, upgrade your dwellings, get higher level troops which aren't worth the money, and crush your enemies. It's all very simple. What's not simple is figuring out which factions aren't complete garbage. So, to save you the time, I've made a very easy chart. As you can see, of the 6 different towns you can choose, 5 of them are objectively hot garbage. That's because warlocks have the best unit in the game. Dragons. Some might argue that different factions have their own strengths and shine at different points in the game. Knights and barbarians in the early game, necromancers and sorceresses in the mid game, and warlocks and wizards in the late game. We call these people a Heroes 2 apologist. They are subversive, they are insidious, and they are fully convinced that a tier 6 unit with 1/4 of the health and none of the perks of a dragon is a good financial investment. Also, they can't do this. If such a person approaches you, don't listen to their lies. Unplug their hearing aid and jam their mobility scooter immediately before they manage to convince anyone else at the retirement home. In Heroes 2, magic is king. Magic is essential for victory and completely overshadows anything an illiterate, brain-dead warrior can hope to achieve. Why?
I just see that poor knight like, I hate my life. Why? Oh my god. Yeah, I have a feeling that they did a really balanced shit, really then. I mean, unlike today where they try to balance everything, which...
Because there's no counterplay. All a mage has to do is keep repeatedly suicide bombing his enemies to victory. What is the answer to someone rushing at you repeatedly with phoenixes and spamming Armageddon? Losing. That's what. To beat magic, you have to counter magic with more magic. Armageddon spam can't hold up to a wizard with more spell points than white matter in his brain, who can just cross the entire length of the map with Dimension Door and take all of your towns in a single turn. Heroes 2 is a mess, but it's a beautiful, exploitable mess. It all do.
You can... Oh my god. I just can imagine the fucking rage. If they just teleport and take all the... I mean, I've been playing a lot of... For those that at least Potato knows at least, that I've been playing lots of Warhammer... Well, Total War Warhammer 2 lately. And it's aggravating enough when you're like, I'm having this massive campaign, and then some fucking Skavens or something sneak by in the back line and start to take over your place. You're like, oh, you piece of shit! Very frustrating.
In fairness, the idea of the game is that you're not meant to stick to a starting faction, and instead ramp your way up to getting the town you want, which is warlocks. If you can't get warlocks, settle for wizards. Titans can still hold up to dragons, and boars make for a good source of fresh pork, I guess. If you can't get wizards, settle for uninstalling the game. Also, it should be mentioned that while everything works great on my good old games copy, the sound clip used for teleportation has been completely scuffed. How? Why? I don't know, but I think we should all experience it together. I know teleportation has its risks, but I never expected it to blow my eardrums. So, if you have to teleport, please remove your headphones beforehand, or your...
Was that a sex toy? Was that a butt plug? I need to check that one out.
But I never expected it to blow my eardrums. So, if you have to teleport, please...
that is definitely a butt plug. It's made to vibrate in the ass. I'm pretty sure at least.
Remove your headphones beforehand, or you're definitely going to develop tinnitus. Since we're on the subject of bullshit strategies, we might as well also cover bullshit units. Luckily, the developers had the foresight to realize that some of these might be a little too strong, so they're not available to any faction. Instead, they can only be obtained in limited numbers through diplomacy and bribery. Case example 1. Genies. These can only be found in magic lamps. They're very pretty. They also hit like a truck, but what my former child brain couldn't understand is that they've got a special ability. They can divide any stack in 2, and it doesn't matter how many genies there are. 1 is enough. So split them up into stacks and go ham on your enemy's strongest unit. Hit a stack, get lucky, and your enemy's just lost several weeks worth of income. And if you're playing multiplayer, you've just lost several years worth of friendship. Case example 2. Ghosts. Remember how I mentioned peasants were completely useless? That's not entirely true. If you can somehow convince a couple of ghosts to join you, stop whatever it is you're doing and locate a small horde of peasants. Don't kill them. Let them grow. Let them ferment and let their population explode over the next few weeks. Then, it's time to harvest your crop. You see, ghosts take the numbers of any stack they've killed, and since peasants have a single hit point, you can sit back and watch your numbers swell from several dozen to several hundred to several thousand. In a single fight, you've turned a mediocre stack of units into the single most powerful unit in the entire game. At this point, nothing and no one can stop you.
Yeah, I feel like that is a bit... Oh my god. I kind of feel bad for the peasants. I will say, I kind of feel bad for them. Just let them there festering and grow. Let them become fattened before you send your ghost army in the maze.
Your legion of ghosts will keep growing and growing until there's nothing left to consume. Their numbers will swell so high that the game just gives up trying to show you how many there are. When you've achieved and abused such high levels of broken design, you can finally call yourself a true strategic master of Heroes of Might and Magic 2. The game is still absolutely worth playing. It is dirt cheap on good old games, and in this day and age, even a potato clock can run the game. If you want a fair and balanced strategy game, don't play it. If you want to ambush leprechauns for their lunch money, redistribute wealth to the masses, only to murder the masses later and cheese your way to victory, then this is the game for you. I give it 3 out of 4 genies, because I don't have the extra gemstone to hire the last one. Thoroughly recommended. Go play it. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. A huge thanks to one member of a guild in particular, since he somehow managed to get me a signed copy of a Heroes Live Orchestra CD and a nice HP keyboard, which he optimized for me in case I ever decide to play a league again. Thank you, fam. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
That's
and
amazing.
now it's time to violate copyright. Enjoy.
That's a lot of name. And we pause right there. Bass Balaclava Man. That's a pretty cool name, actually. So this is a good review. This is a good review. And it's just showcasing how many times old games are just so effing broken. Because, you know, when they're making a game for the first time, they're like, oh, we can do whatever we want. We don't understand anything. We just put things in and don't think on the things can happen. You know, like with the ghost thing. I don't think the creators really thought about that. Like, oh, what if happens someone actually just, you know, they just letting the peasant reproduce widely, you know, out there in the nature, in the wild, and then let the ghosts go in there and just harvest them. I don't think anyone actually think about that. Just really mad men and women and others that really do that. And seriously though, now I want to play Heroes of Might and Magic again. God damn it. Though probably the third game. I don't have the second game. At least I think not. I'm gonna check my Steam here a little bit quickly. which Heroes games do I has? Lovely violins and all that. I love the music. Hero. Wait, I can't even write. I actually have Heroes of Might and Magic 5 on my computer. I don't have the third game though. It's sad. I need to get it on the computer. Well, on Steam, I think. But seriously, this was pretty fun to watch actually. Really fun. And thank Potato for suggesting these, and of course thank to Seth for making this really educational review on this. I'm gonna subscribe to him. Poof! Now he has an extra sub there. And of course, as said, check him out, because it was good. I need to watch more of his vids. I like it. And yes, I will be back with more stuff here on the channel. So thank you for watching. See you later on, and I will continue. Super great day.